Hey guys, I'm going to be going over some notes that I want you to take. So make sure if you haven't already, pull out your notebook. Please turn to the page that looks like this. It should be either page 10 or 11 in your notebook, depending on which one you have, I believe. But you should be turning to the page that says Problem, Representation in Congress. Today, we are moving on to ICANN 3, explain the solutions to the major problems debated at the Constitutional Convention. We've been spending some time talking about what the issues are for the country, what are some of the things they're debating. Today we're going to focus on the solutions, okay? Specifically the Great Compromise and the Three-Fifths Compromise. So, we've been talking about the Constitutional Convention. This took place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in Independence Hall. It was the same place where they wrote the Declaration of Independence, and the convention officially began on May 25, 1787. They're going to spend about 4 months writing this Constitution. There's going to be a lot of debate, a lot of discussion, a lot of disagreements, and they're doing this in the heat of the summer. The windows are closed. They're meeting in secret. They don't want anyone else to really know about this event. In total, 74 delegates from 12 states were invited, but only 55 attended. Rhode Island did not attend at all. They were very anti this Constitutional Convention because they actually didn't want to get rid of the Articles. And quite a few of the delegates, when they arrived, it was not their intention to get rid of the Articles. They were just there to fix them. But as they started this debate process, they began to realize that the Articles just needed to be completely thrown out. They needed to write a new government, and that's where we get the Constitutional Convention. So here, this is a famous image where you see George Washington presiding over the convention. James Madison is there, Benjamin Franklin is there, Alexander Hamilton. The one person who was not here was Thomas Jefferson, so he's not there, but a lot of other key founding fathers were there. And some things that they agree on relatively quickly, they knew they wanted a limited government. They did not want a monarchy, they did not want a king, they don't want someone to have unlimited power. They wanted some form of limited government. Under the Articles of Confederation, they had only had one branch of government. It was the legislative branch. This is the branch that writes the laws. And they realized that one branch of government wasn't really working, so they do decide on 3, and they say, you know what, we really need separation of powers. We need to make sure we have 3 branches who all do different powers and kind of spread that out. They also decide to get rid of this idea where each state is going to create their own money system. They're like, that was not working under the Articles. They do agree to do one national currency. They know that they need to have a stronger national government. Shays' Rebellion showed them that. There was some debate as to how strong, right? How strong do we want to make the federal government? How much power should states have? So there's still some disagreement there, but they do know it needs to be stronger. And finally, they do want some form of representative government. Speaking of representative government, look over here at your notes. The first problem we're going to solve is representation in Congress. These are the people who are going to be sent to the legislative branch in Congress to write the laws. And they need to figure out how many representatives they're going to have from each state. So how many people go to Congress to write the laws? 2 plans come forward. The first is the Virginia plan. So the Virginia plan was proposed by big states. These are states that are not physically big, but have lots of people. So they're heavily populated. And the Virginia plan said, you know what, we should have 2 houses, meaning 2 parts of Congress that are filled with representatives who are going to write laws. And representation should be based on population. So the bigger your state is, the more people your state has in it, the more representatives you should get, okay? The problem with this system is big states would be completely in control. Think Virginia, New York, Pennsylvania. These are larger states. So whatever laws they want to pass are more likely to pass because there's more representatives to vote on it versus New Jersey, Rhode Island, Delaware. These are smaller states that wouldn't have as much say. So in your notes here, make sure you were writing this in, proposed by big states. They wanted a two-house system, and representation will be based on population. The more people you have in your state, the more representatives you are going to get. So that is the Virginia plan. Small states were not a fan of this. They're like, whoa, we want to have representatives, writing the laws, and we want to be represented as well. And so the New Jersey plan was proposed by small states. So now fill that out over here. They only wanted one house in Congress. There would only be one group of representatives. And they thought that representation should be equal representation. So no matter how big your state is, whether you are big or small, you would only get, let's say, 2 representatives. So if you're Virginia, you get 2. If you're Rhode Island, you get 2. Each state gets 2 representatives that can vote on laws. While this may seem equal, the problem with this is literally just like the Articles of Confederation, okay? And the national government would remain relatively weak because it's just hard to get these states to agree, and you'd be in kind of this deadlock all the time. And so that system had some issues with it as well. The other issue, as they started to debate, do we count population or don't we count population, the next question kind of popped into all of their heads. If we're going to count population as a way to determine how many representatives we're going to get, what do we do about enslaved people? Do enslaved people count as part of the population for how many representatives a state would get if we were going with the Virginia plan? So suddenly they start to debate about slavery again. Do we count enslaved people or don't we count enslaved people? So in order to kind of take a closer look at which states wanted the Virginia plan and which states wanted the New Jersey plan, I want you to do an activity. So you should get a handout from the sub that has this at the top. Dear fellow delegates, welcome to Independence Hall in the city of Philadelphia. As you know, you have been selected as a delegate to represent your home state during these proceedings. Our purpose is to discuss the defects found in our current government under the Articles of Confederation. Your input is not only desired, but necessary so that we can guarantee life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness to all Americans. I ask you to remember whatever is said in these meetings is to be held in strict of confidence. Again, welcome to Philadelphia, and thank you for helping to secure the possible government of our country. So, you are going to be assigned a state, and you are going to be working through this paper. On the next video, it's going to give you some more details about this.